So, welcome back to Bodhicharyavatara. We are going through the 8th chapter. Hope all of you are in good health. And last time we left at stanza number 79, but because of the lack of time, I think I could not read the Tibetan version of verse number 79. So I will read it again. Actually, it's a very important stanza, which is very widely quoted. Sato sono wapi dongwai non punchol tai hiprisa nor la chopi imbercharana sipi dungali to kamedo. So, as I explained a little bit, the attachment, it's not just the wealth, but if you are too much attached to the wealth, then there is lots of sufferings and pain and difficulties in accumulating it. Once you have accumulated, then there is lots of tension and problem and difficulties to hold it together, to keep it safely. And then eventually anything changes, and whatever you get, you also, you lose. So therefore, when you lose, then there's lots of suffering and pain. So therefore, at the time of accumulation, at the time of keeping it, at the time of losing it, it's so much suffering and pain. And the problem, the more attached you are, the more pain you have. You must understand this. And those who are, distracted by too much attached to the wealth and, money, and it also includes, your kind of popularity or name and fame and power and things like that, all the same. Then they are so busy and so strongly kind of, what can you say, caught up in that there is no chance for them to free themselves from the samsara. So has to understand this and learn to have a balanced, right kind of attitude. If you get wealth, or more and more wealth, very good wealth, it's very good. It's very wonderful. You should use it. You should use it in a very good way that is helpful to you, that is enjoyable to you, and that's wonderful to you. You give it to others also who are around you. Spend it for some good purpose that would be helpful to lots of people, and you can do it in a very good way. It's a very good thing. It's a very wonderful thing. Lots of people are very, are suffering a lot because they don't have enough to eat, or they don't have space to live, or they don't have, facilities for, all sorts of things, education and all different kind of things. So you can, you can spend that, because if you have that, positive energy in you, if you have that kind of positive luck, or whatever you call it, then, the more you spend, the more you get. So you don't have to be so, miserly about that. And then, if you don't have also, it is not so difficult just to find livelihood. You should get that, and then not become too much attached to it, so that you don't become totally, you do all kind of negative things and difficult things, and which gives you lots of pain and problems and difficulties for yourself and others in this life and in lives in the future. And if you do that, then you will be able to be okay. You probably will not, not die of hunger or anything. And if you have to die of hunger because of certain strong circumstances, then you will die also anyway. So therefore, this is the idea. I think now we go back to the English. I am told that maybe I didn't read the 72 also fully. Together riches young boys are unable, and what can they enjoy when they are full grown? The whole of life is spent in gaining wealth, but then they are too old to satisfy their lust, and things like that. So I think you can read it. I don't need to. So now we come to stanza number 80. I will read again the English 79. The pain of gaining, keeping, and of losing all. See the endless hardships brought on us by property, wealth. For those distracted by their love of wealth or too much attachment to wealth, there is no chance for freedom from the sorrows of existence. Means samsara. They cannot free themselves from samsara because they are too much attached to that. Then stanza number 80, they indeed possessed of many wants will suffer many troubles, all for very little. They are like the ox that pulls the cart and catches bits of grass along the way. When we work very hard and very obediently sometimes, or very, ambitiously and, one-pointedly in a company or under some employer, then, we need to, spend all our energy, all our time for that. And then, we need to work very hard throughout our life, throughout our working life. And during that time, we are always under the power of somebody else. If we don't work very hard and we are not successful, then our bosses will not be happy. If we are too successful, then sometimes our colleagues are not very happy. And if we spend too much time and too hard work, then our family is not very happy. And if we spend too much time with the family and friends, then we suffer in our job, and so therefore we are not pleasing our bosses and our employer. So therefore it's like a little bit like, and we have very little things that we truly kind of have the freedom and enjoying. It's like an ox. Usually it's at that time. Everything was transported, and everything, all the works were done by the oxes in India. So there, they give lots of work to the oxes, to plow the land, to carry the loads, to pull the carts and things like that. The whole day working, and then for some time, sometimes you gave them a little rest so that they can actually pick up some grass around, and to kind of, and that they can say, oh yes, I'm so happy because I can. It's a little bit like that, So therefore, how much is worth that, Dede namla telas nimi mona nuchote hintan rembi shutoke zana konga subai. There is so much work, there is so much time and energy is spent to earn some living or some money, but but there are so many, we have to do so many things, sacrifice so many things, so much time, so much energy, and do we really get the same amount of gain or benefit for it? Because we have this precious human life, and we have lots of capacities, we have lots of potentials, we have even potential to become enlightened in this lifetime and attain lasting peace and happiness for ourselves, and so that we can do great help and benefit for lots of people. And by working so hard and just for some money, are we not wasting our time too much? It's like those who are too much attached to this kind of things, so many negative things, so many hardships, so many difficulties. And what we get is some money. And maybe that's sometimes a lot, but sometimes not so much. And when we actually spend all what we need for, is there much that we can use for, something useful, something beneficial, something even for our old age, and for other people. So therefore, we are more or less like a slave, like the ox who is working all day with lots of hardship, and at the end, just what we get is only some grass to eat. Therefore, shuji dena makyembi nochu konyen tetuen tanjor pusu nyekand leji nawa namchi jams. So this is 81. For sake of such a paltry thing, which is not rare, which even beast can find, tormented by their karma, they destroy this precious human life, so hard to find. By working so hard, so long hours, so energetically, so wholeheartedly, and train so much for that, and make so much competition for that. That at the end, what we get is just a livelihood, just so that we can survive, and nothing afterwards. We don't become enlightened. We are not able to help lots of people. We might even have to harm them. Does it really balance this? So therefore, those people, Shantideva thinks, doing that is just like, is tormented by their negative karma, and doing this kind of wasting our precious human life just for survival, which even many animals or all animals, in one better way or a not so good way, they can also do just for their survival. So what he's suggesting is that we need to be much more ambitious than that. We should not waste all of our life just to earn a living. We should have some, energy, some time, some space, so that we can also improve ourselves. We can work on our, spiritual development, with our own inner development, how to bring kind of lasting peace and happiness in ourselves, how to help others. Otherwise, it's too much to pay. This precious human life is so hard to find. And then 82. All that we desire is sure to perish, on which account we fall to hellish pain. For what amounts to very little, we must suffer constant and exhausting weariness. We are desiring, we do all this hard work and hard training and much competition and all this, so much efforts, where we have so much pressure, so much, we take it as so much challenge, and that what actually we desire, what actually we get, what actually we are looking for, either wealth or name or fame, or some power, or some luxury, or enjoyment, some kind of what can you say, sensual pleasure, and all of this is very perishable, is very, momentary. We get it, we can maybe enjoy a little bit, but they all go. There's nothing which is really, which can say, oh, I got it now, it will be there all the time. There's nothing like that. Whether it's wealth, whether it's power, whether it's enjoyment, luxury, name, fame, anything. So therefore, and then by, if we have to do this with so much negative emotions and so much, kind of effort, we actually are going through so much pain. It's hellish pain. And we have to go through so much weariness, so much exhaustion, so much pain also. So I read the Tibetan for this 82, stanza number 82, and then Nöpa nipa njinjirihi nyala sopa tongchepa chimbo mashin tukanda tivitse chenjo kongyomba. It's so this Tei shevi chachangji tsechi sonji. Tei shevi chachangji tsechi sonji nyendana nede shonji shwepaye dunga chela shonji means. So this, the last stanza, the stanza number, this is kind of together. With but a millionth part of such vexation, enlightenment itself could be attained. Those who crave are plagued far more than those engaged upon the path, yet Buddhahood is not what they attain. He says that if we use a 1 millionth part of our energy and enthusiasm and efforts in our life to work on our enlightenment, maybe we will get enlightenment with that. And with what we are doing now for worldly or samsaric things, we get what we get. Nothing that is consistent. Nothing that we can keep for a longer period of time. Nothing that really benefits us in a long way. So we 83. So we stop here. Thank you.